Some people never fully disappear from your life. They don't leave, they don't block you, they don't unfollow you. They just watch. They see every move you make, they notice every shift, they track your growth quietly, but they never disappear. They never support you. No encouragement, no acknowledgement, no celebration, just watching. And if you've ever wondered why this happens, this video is for you. This particular dynamic doesn't have anything to do with you. It doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It has everything to do with what your growth stirs up in them. Here's the first thing I want you to understand. Watching without supporting is not the position of someone who's neutral. It's just a position. It's a form of engagement that allows someone to stand emotionally involved without having to confront their own feelings. Support requires the other person to be vulnerable. Watching does not. When someone supports you, they have to admit that they see you, that they acknowledge your courage, and that they recognize that you're doing something that they may not be doing themselves. Watching lets them avoid all of that. They get access without accountability. A lot of people assume that if someone doesn't support them, it means they don't care. That's not always true. Sometimes it means they care too much, just not in a way they know how to handle. Your growth creates a contrast, and contrast makes people uncomfortable. Because when someone watches you evolve, heal, or step into your voice, it silently asks them a question they may not want to answer. What am I doing with my own life? Supporting you would force them to face that question. So instead, they just stay quiet. There's also something happening underneath. Some people don't support you because support feels like alignment, and alignment feels like taking a side. If you're changing, setting boundaries, or breaking patterns, supporting you might mean distancing themselves from an old version of you or from a shared identity you no longer fit into. They may still want access to you, but not at the cost of reevaluating themselves. So they watch from the sidelines, close enough to stay connected, but far enough to stay comfortable. Some people watch you because your life has become a reference point, not an inspiration post, not a motivational quote, but a living mirror. They're measuring themselves against you, consciously or unconsciously. They notice how you speak now, how you move differently, how you don't chase approval, how you don't explain the way you used to. And instead of supporting you, they sit back and they study you, not to celebrate you, but to understand you. Because you represent something unfamiliar. You represent growth without permission. Some of you all may keep hoping that one day the person watching will turn and support you. That eventually the likes will come, the messages will come, the encouragement will come. But that's not always how this resolves. Sometimes the watching is the most support they are capable of. And that's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their capacity. Support requires emotional maturity. Watching requires none. This is also why confronting them usually doesn't work. If you ask, "Why don't you support me?" you'll likely get deflection, minimization, or confusion. Because most people are not consciously choosing this behavior. They're managing their discomfort the only way they know how. You don't need to shrink, soften, or explain yourself in order to earn support from people who are committed to observing rather than participating. Your job is not to convert watchers into cheerleaders. Your job is to keep moving anyway. There is nothing wrong with being seen quietly, but there is something dangerous about letting the absence of support make you question your path. Some of the people watching will never clap. And it's not because what you're doing isn't important, but because your courage exposes their hesitation. And that's not your burden to carry. Eventually, something awakens, not always in them, but in you. You stop checking who's watching. You stop waiting for acknowledgement. You stop mistaking silence for rejection. And you realize support that arrives late is rarely aligned. Support that's quiet is often conflicted. And support that never comes doesn't get to dictate your direction. So if you feel watched but not supported, keep going. Because the people who are meant to walk with you won't need time to decide. They'll meet you where you are, openly, willingly, and without hesitation. And the rest, they'll keep watching. If this resonated, take what you need from it and leave the rest. And if you want to hear more conversations like this, you're welcome here. You're not imagining it. They're watching.